I have a few different slides to show you guys, so just hang on while I share my screen, please. Okay, are you guys seeing the school experience survey? No, all right. Stop share and share. Okay, so if you recall, this is something that parents participate in every year. Our students also participate in it, grades 4th and up, and as do all our staff members. So this is a way for the district to get valuable information on its schools, and for us particularly how Richland is doing and what your thoughts are on Richland. So, oops. So again, gives a very important feedback from teachers, staff, students, and parents on what you think how the school is doing, how the district is operating. So the only different thing this year is that it's going to be completely online, and it is due by December 11th. This is something that we ask you guys. We always try to get 100% of families, 100% of students, 100% of teachers to participate in. I can pretty much guarantee 100% of staff. The teachers, unless the kids are out for an extended period of time, we can get 100% of the students to participate. It's been rather difficult to get 100% of parents to participate in the past. I think one year we got about 80%, which is pretty high. The district average is somewhere around 40%, but we do value your opinions. And especially, under these circumstances, we love to hear your voice and see what you guys think. Again, it'll be completely online. For some reason, if you don't have internet, you don't have internet connectivity, you know someone who doesn't have one, we do have some paper pencil ones in the office that we'll be happy to distribute. But for the most part, it'll be done online. The link is achieve.lusd.net, school experience survey. And again, you probably should have already received a text message from me, probably received an email from Cami. So I'll be happy to put in the chat as well. But just click on the link, and then you click on Parent Survey English or Parent Survey Spanish, if you like. And then it will take you guys probably about 20 minutes to do the survey, to complete it. And that's pretty much it. Very important. We do value your inputs, and we like to hear from all of our families. So if you could please do that before December 11th, we'd greatly appreciate it. And you'll get some more friendly reminders from me and Cami as well. All right. Now, the next thing, whoops. Okay. So this is a, can you guys see this graphic, COVID-19 case rate? No, all right, here we go again, thank you. Thanks, Brad, for letting me know. Here we go. Okay, so this was taken from Superintendent Buhner's weekly Monday address, not this past week, but the week before. And I get a lot of questions about when might school reopen, what is the district thinking, what is the district's plan? So I know the district is looking to open, hopefully, after winter break, assuming that cases drop. Right now, Los Angeles is at an 8. It needs to be at 7. First of all, we got to get down to 7, and we have to stay there for 3+ weeks before we can even consider to reopen, which means that opening before January right now is not going to happen. Even opening in January may not happen if cases don't go down. So, and it seems to be trending in the opposite direction. We seem to have a spike in getting more cases now than we did when COVID first struck. So, again, I'm optimistic. However, realistically, maybe end of January, maybe February, assuming that this happens. Now, there is a hope for a vaccine now, depending on how that rolls out. We may be able to open after the holidays, but it's not looking that way at this moment. So again, I urge you guys, please wear a mask. I know the holidays are coming. Practice social distancing so that we can reopen. Another question that I'm getting a lot of is, sorry, bear with me. Okay, is this question about tutoring? So originally the district was hoping that we'd start bringing back small groups. We'd start with one-to-one tutoring, expand that to 1-to-3 tutoring, maybe expand that a little further in hopes that we could eventually, after the holidays, reopen and bring back cohorts of students. Now, I get a lot of questions about tutoring. So currently we have 4 teachers that are servicing, no, 3 teachers that are servicing 5 students currently for one-on-one, okay? Then Buhner, a couple weeks ago, said that starting November 9th, we're going to expand one-to-one tutoring to include 1-to-3. Great, okay, it's a wonderful idea in theory. The problem being is that we need to get teachers who are willing to teach it. And again, currently we have 3 of our Richland staff willing to teach it. And we've had more demand than that, obviously. So we've looked at finding different ways. So the district provided a list of substitute teachers who were willing to do tutoring as well. So we've been able to so far get Miss Sachiro, who many of you guys know. She's kind of like our go-to sub. She's going to start doing 6 kids because she's going to do it Monday through Thursday. And then we have another substitute teacher, Mrs. Jan Goodman, who is Miss Kimberly Goodman's mother. She's also an LEC teacher, and she's also going to take on 3 students. So we're going to be able to up our numbers to 15, okay, which is fantastic. But the second group of kids that was supposed to start, we're still waiting on district funding for that. So unfortunately, I had to email those parents today saying that, we cannot start until we get funding from the district. So I know this isn't really kind of going as well as parents have anticipated. Buhner did say, hey, this is what we're going to roll out, but it's really dependent on teacher participation, teachers wanting to participate. And many of our teachers don't feel comfortable coming back onto campus, which I completely respect and honor. That is their opinion, those are their wishes, and they don't have to. So we are trying to expand it, but it's difficult because there just aren't a lot of teachers that are willing to do it, especially over on the west side. So now we've kind of gone to having substitutes provide that tutoring. Any questions on any of this so far?
Looks like there was a question in the chat about the teachers who are currently teaching. Subs names. I don't know if you are able to provide the names of the.
So currently we have Ms. Dula, Mr. Gatus, and Ms. Weedham. We're currently teaching it. And then we're going to add Ms. Sachiro and Mrs. Goodman soon, once we get the district go ahead for that, and once we get the district funding for that. Okay, let me switch gears.
Oh, it looks like there's also a question about who's receiving the tutoring.
So right now it is first grade students who were below grade level or severely below grade level based on the DIBELS assessment that they took and teacher recommendation. Now for Ms. Goodman's class, she is an upper grade teacher who has no interest in teaching first grade. So she's going to be providing tutoring to 5th graders in the area of writing. And so that's another thing too, based on these substitutes that make themselves available, they have limitations. For example, if they're like a high school teacher, if they're a middle school teacher, or even they're elementary, maybe they're used to teaching 5th grade and wouldn't think of tutoring first graders. So we kind of have to go based on what their wishes are. Now, I could provide a list of kids at every grade level who could benefit from tutoring. Unfortunately, we just don't have the personnel to do that at this time. All right, Okay, other quick announcements. We are having coffee with the principal with me on November 30th, Monday, November 30th at 11 o'clock. We're going to have an Ask Fran session, which will be on December 3rd. And we kindly ask if you could send your questions ahead of time. If you can email them to the Richland French Academy at lusd.net. And again, I'll put this information in the chat. We're trying to get an idea of what people's questions might be so that Fran can prepare some materials to present at that time. This is, if you haven't been to an Ask Fran, it's a really fun session. You just pretty much ask her whatever you have, whatever's on your mind, and she's got amazing answers for it. We would just like to prepare a little bit of some background material for you guys if we know what the questions are ahead of time. And That's all I got. So I will put the websites in the chat room. Okay, thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. G. I'm just checking if anybody has any further questions regarding to what Mr. G said. If not, we can move to the next item on the agenda, and that's the annual giving campaign. Jen and Marta, if you're here, please could you unmute yourself?
Thanks, Soha. Hi, everyone. Yeah, the giving campaign is finally over. I know that you guys are probably tired of hearing from us, but we wanted to give a wrap up on how it went. And we definitely finished a lot stronger than we started, which is really great. And I know it's been an exceptionally difficult year for so many families in so many different ways. But in the end, we wound up with 58% of families participating, and we got $130,000 of our $200,000 goal. So we didn't make it to the finish line, but we did a really good job in a really difficult year. And so thank you so much, everyone who participated. Thank you so much for your participation. Every bit helps make Richland a better place. And hopefully we can do even better next year.
Thanks, Marta. And coupling on with where we landed at 130,000, what we decided this year to do to see if we could get any more money this year through gift matching. We do have a few corporations that do matches, which is great. We have a few families that work for corporations where we get their donations matched, which is fantastic. But we wanted to think outside the box this year, given circumstances and given how challenging this year is for so many. We thought, rather than last year where we participated in Facebook's Giving Tuesday campaign, which yielded us no matches. People donated on Giving Tuesday, but the Facebook money, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, there's starting at 5 a.m., they release, I think it was like, I don't know, $20 million or something to match whatever is given that day. I think the money was gone at barely 5:01. It was gone around the world because it's a worldwide fund. So what we thought we'd do this year, I have heard from a few families that really wanted to participate this year above and beyond what they have been requested to give, the $1,500 or even $2,000. They have decided that they would like to contribute more and be able to give an opportunity for families who may have thought their $50 doesn't go far enough. They have offered to double that money. So anyone who gives a donation on Giving Tuesday, we aren't exactly certain right now what the money will be, but up to a certain limit. Right now we have a pool of about $6,000 from families that have decided to give above and beyond their donation. And so anyone who gives a donation on Giving Tuesday, their money would be doubled. So if you're a family who felt like, I certainly can't give $1,500 and I want to participate and be part of the community, but $50 is the most I can give. And it just doesn't feel like it's going to go very far. $50 becomes $100 on Giving Tuesday. And this is our Richland community families stepping up and supporting each other. So the pool of $6,000 is our own families within the community saying, I have more money to give. We know this year is challenging for others. I want to achieve our goal closer to 200,000 to make our initiatives be able to be there when we come back to school. So I will put a flyer in the chat and we will send out a flyer next Monday. If you are a family who wants to participate in giving additional money to bring the $6,000 up to 7,500 or 8,000, whatever the number may be, it's a great pool to start with. But if you want to give an extra 200 because you're feeling generous and you want more tax deductions this year, please reach out to Marta or I. I will put our emails in the chat as well. And we will beef up that fund, and then you just participate as an additional family in the pool. And then on Giving Tuesday, anyone who donates via PayPal or emails me and says, I'm sending a check in to be there on Giving Tuesday or what have you, the funds will be doubled. And our grand total of 130 could become even further. So it's a donation just through PayPal. I will be capturing the donations through PayPal to know what needs to be matched. And as a reminder, I'm seeing stuff in the chat. All donations are tax deductible. You receive a tax letter personally from Marta and I at the end of the year, so that you can turn it into your CPA. And so yes, you would donate it right through the website, and we're trying to make this as seamless and easy as possible, but we think it could be a great way to build community.
Thank you, Jen. I was looking at the questions. First, I think Yumi had a question. I'm not sure if it was about the giving campaign or relating to what Mr. G talked about, or if it was already answered in the chat. Yumi, if you're here, can you ask your question?
Sorry, thanks. It's just easier than typing in the chat.
Okay.
For Mr. G, when I fill out the survey, there's a place where you mark what grade your child is in currently. But I think you can only mark one. Does it matter?
It doesn't. It's one.
Okay.
It's one per family, and normally the surveys go home to the eldest child, so you can go ahead and use the eldest child information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I see another question about the giving campaign, Saz asking the final percentage breakdown of giving by grade level.
Sure, I have that, and I can publish that, or I don't know if you want me to share that on here. I can quickly run down if people want to hear that. All right, well, I'll run down it very quickly. In TK, we were at 71% participation. In Kinder, we were at 72% participation. Ooh, that's a mouthful. In first grade, we ended at 48% participation. In second grade, 64%. Third grade, 67%, fourth grade, 37%, and fifth grade, 53% for the overall 58% participation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen and Marta. I think all the questions that, so the latest question, when will we actually vote on the budget for the allocation of this newly raised money? So that will be during the next budgeting cycle, which will happen in the new year, right? So I think we will have a meeting where we'll discuss it in February, and then we'll actually vote on it in March. I think it was originally published that we were going to do that in January, but in conversation with Mr. G and Katie, we realized that would be just a smidge too early. So we're going to discuss in February and then vote on it in March. But I think that's all the questions that that I see related to it. So any last questions? And I just want to take a quick second to thank and acknowledge Jen and Marta's incredible work. Thank you so much for leading us. I really am grateful, and I know everyone is. So thank you so much. It's been a hard year to participate, and I think it's also been a really hard year to lead us on this effort. So thank you. And I'm sure you're going to get lots of accolades in the chat. Okay, so next up is a really fun topic, spirit gear. We all need some spirit. So Alan, are you here?
I am. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
So thanks, Kate and Soha, and thanks, Marta and Jen, for the awesome work on the giving campaign. Those numbers are fantastic in a difficult year. Another way that we generate some revenue at Richland is by selling Richland-themed spirit gear. When we were in school, we used to do this at events, back to school night, scare fair. But now that we are remote, we are going to be doing this online. The sales are going to be going online. We have a spirit gear committee, which formed last year, which we'll be soliciting volunteers for later in the program. But in a minute, I'm going to show you guys all the online pop-up shop, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. But just to give a quick pitch right now, when you're going through the pop-up shop, if you guys see things that you have opinions on, like, oh, well, why don't they have this design in a different color or something, join the Spirit Gear Committee, and we will be happy to take that input. We need help. We had a bigger committee last year. Some of those families have left the school. Others were busy. These are busy times. So join the Spirit Gear Committee if you want to chime in on Spirit Gear. And now I'm going to explain the pop-up shop. So the way that the online pop-up shop works is we found a vendor that makes the gear for us, and they set up an online shop for us. Individual families are going to make purchases on the shop, and then you'll select your delivery option. It's actually going to be delivered straight from the vendor to you. Because of costs for production, we get a significant discount if we make a certain amount of, if we order a certain amount of items for each style. So in order for us to run an online shop that we can make a little bit of money on for Booster, we have to group purchases all at the same time. And so that's why we're having this thing structured as a pop-up shop, because we need to get all of our orders in so that we can get our discounted rate for meeting a certain production threshold. Basically, we can't leave the store up forever, because then if people come in at their leisure and order things, we are not going to ship them until we get 12 orders of the same design. So rather than have people wondering when they're going to get their gear, we decided to just run a pop-up shop for about the next 2 weeks. And then at the end of that, you'll know that your gear is going to come like, a week or two after that. And this is all timed so that we can all get gear in time for the holidays. So without further ado, let's get the site up. So here is the website, and I will post the link in the chat, which I'm not sure how to access while I'm sharing screen. So I'll do that afterwards. Actually, you know what? Let me just hop off and do it real quick, because if anyone wants to pull it up, you can look on your own. You can look at it with me. Okay, so there it's in the chat now, and I'll walk us through. Okay, so we've got long sleeve t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got short sleeve t-shirts, we've got a hat for adults only this year. And I just want to click on the hat real quick. As maybe some of you know, I wear hats a lot, so I'm really excited about this one. This is a printed mock-up of this hat, but the actual hats are going to be embroidered. You guys are getting a accompaniment from my youngest daughter tonight. Sorry about that. It's dinner time in the other room. This is going to be an embroidered design on the hat. So it doesn't look as good on this image as it will look for those of us that buy it. We have a couple different designs. We've got this, and these were ones that were submitted to this Spirit Gear Committee last year. We need new designs. We have other designs that have been in Spirit on previous Spirit Gear. I don't have those designs anymore, so we're actually in need of somebody to give us some designs. But in any event, this is what we got. It's real easy. Let's say I'm going to look for a hoodie for my youngest, because maybe she's cold, and maybe that will get her to stop yelling about whatever she's yelling about at the moment. So I click on the hoodie, and I find, and be careful, guys, because they're all, this is marked youth and this is marked adult, right? So it's going to take us to a different different choices. Then once we're here, we have, it looks like 2 colors we can choose from. So we would pick the color we want, the size. Let's go with the small. She's the littlest. I'm just going to get 1, add it to the cart. And look, I've already picked out a t-shirt for myself in there. Proceed to checkout, and I'm sure you guys know how to do online shopping from there. So let me just go down to the last other thing that I'm excited to share. We also, who can sell gear these days without selling masks? So we will have our own Richland masks that we can all wear if we ever come back to school together while this pandemic is going on. And by the way, guys, these t-shirts, the masks are only in black. And these t-shirts are not only in those colors. Once you click on the t-shirts, you see we have different colors for different shirts. The shop is ready to make purchases tonight. However, the vendor did not get all of the long sleeve t-shirts loaded on. And I'm also noticing they didn't get all of our the youth hoodie selections loaded on. So you guys can start shopping tonight, but that stuff all of the inventory will get finalized and will be on there tomorrow. The pop-up shop will be open until Tuesday, December 1st, which gives you guys time to make some decisions over the Thanksgiving holiday. And then Cyber Monday, you can buy all of our gear. And then we'll close it at midnight on Tuesday, December 1st. And then that'll give time for you guys to get your stuff delivered. Does anybody have any questions?
First of all, Alan, this looks really amazing and fantastic. And I know you did it like in a very short turnaround. So it's really exciting. Thank you so much for getting it all together, really last minute. I just see, I mean, aside from people being very excited about all the designs, I see somebody, Hillary, is asking if there's any interest in taking lightly used spirit gear as a donation to resell at a discounted price.
Any interest in taking lightly used? Okay, so that's an interesting question, Hillary. And it brings up another point, which was we also have old spirit gear that's sitting in the closet at school. And I haven't, well, first of all, Soha, thank you. It's been my pleasure to work on this. I did not do it alone. I have a couple other committee members. I saw Julie's on the call with me here. And we'll be soliciting more committee members. We haven't figured out how to sell old gear that's in the closet yet because of the pandemic. So maybe we might sell lightly used spirit gear. I think it's a great idea. I'll certainly take spirit gear back. If any of you guys have stuff out there that you don't want anymore, you can give it to me, give it to us, and we'll set it aside in a different category for when we can figure out how to get some of this old gear and gently used gear to families that might be a good fit for at a discounted price. Great idea. Want to join the Spirit Gear Committee, Hillary? All right.
And just checking if anybody had any further questions about the pop-up shop or any about the spirit gear or how to buy or where. And I'm guessing, Alan, you're going to share that link on the Facebook group and everything so people can.
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to, I will get an email out through Booster and then everybody will get the link again. The link is also in the chat though, if you guys want to take it right now.
Perfect.
Alan, it looks like there is a question about sizing. And I'm wondering, is there a size chart on like a sizing guide on the website for the youth sizes?
You know, there's not a sizing guide on the website, but let me see if I can find something that we could put somewhere or maybe send out with the email. I'll see if we can do that. What folks have done in the past is just email the Spirit Gear Committee, and we have responded to people individually. But the vendors are all the brands are all similar brands that we've been using for years. So if you've bought a Spirit Gear in the past, if you bought a t-shirt that has the Next Level brand on it, it's the same t-shirt we'll be using again this year. And if you have a hoodie at home with Bella and Canvas on it, that's the same hoodie we'll be using this year. Other than that, the Spirit Gear email will be on the email that Booster sends out, and then you guys can write us if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Alan. And Thank you, everybody on the Spirit Gear Committee for your hard work. The next item on the agenda is also another fun event. We Can Build It. It's the annual STEM event, and this year it's taking place at the church down the street. Is Mike here? So he can tell us more about the event.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everybody. I'm kind of standing in for Mary Beth. This is really her event. She's really been running this for quite a few years. But for those of you who don't know, we have an annual event called We Can Build It. It's right before Thanksgiving. So it's both a STEM event and also an event to help the food insecure right around the holidays. And so typically every year, what we do right before the Thanksgiving holiday is we have a competition with the classes where each class brings in canned donations throughout a period of time, and then they come up with a design and they build their own. And then a few of us that kind of have a little bit of an engineering background, we judge each team in various categories. Well, we realized that probably wasn't going to work this year, given that one, we're not on campus, two, the teachers have plenty of other things to worry about than organizing another event that kind of takes away from what they do. So we decided we wanted to keep doing it because we think it's really important for the community and really important for the food insecure. So we moved the event off campus. So as Soha mentioned, it's going to be at St. Andrew's Church on Saturday, November 21st. And it's going to be set up a little bit differently this year. So in the spirit of collaboration instead of competition, we've set up a secret mystery design that everybody is going to participate in that wants to. So we have a sign-up sheet that's going to be posted in the chat for families to come in. I think it's about 15-minute intervals. Where we're going to hand that group a piece of paper with their part of the design on it without any ability to see the rest of it. And then so everybody's going to get a piece to build up, and then we're going to have a big reveal at 2:15 in the afternoon. So everybody can kind of come back in a socially distanced way, ride their bikes by, however we're going to do it. And it should be really great. I think the kids are going to be really excited, especially the ones that have done this for a few years. We put some time into really designing something that they're really going to like. So the goal is, it's a pretty ambitious goal to get to 4,000 cans. Right now we're only at about 300. We need to get there by the 20th. I have some contingencies, so I think we'll be okay no matter what. Don't worry, the end sculpture will be fantastic regardless. Looks like there's only 2 remaining slots left, so get on there quick if you want to actually build. But everybody, any contribution is much appreciated. The donations are accepted at the St. Andrew's Church in between the 2 buildings. There's it's not in the give and get. It's in the west. There's an actual bin in this area between the 2 buildings in the courtyard there for this build. We're also asking, if you saw the flyer, to try to focus on green and brown colored cans if at all possible, just because wrapping them is really hard. There you go, Brad, exactly. Because it kind of fits with the design, and if we don't have to wrap cans, that's even better. And then the last thing I want to just point out is, since we're doing it on a Saturday, the West Side Food Bank isn't actually open on weekends, so we will have to deliver the cans on Monday, whereas we usually just go right from the event over to the West Side Food Bank. So we will need some volunteers if anybody's available with decent sized vehicles and bins to help us transport the cans over to the food bank on Monday. So anybody that is available, we much appreciate. That's really all I got.
Sorry, could not get my unmute button to work. Thank you. I appreciate it. And in case folks haven't caught on, the theme tonight is sort of volunteer opportunities. So we're going to kind of keep rolling with that and highlighting some of the other committees that you can volunteer to work with. So next up is book fair. So Catherine, If you can unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Catherine Williams, and Mike, thanks for that great overview on Walkathon. It sounds awesome. Book fair, I think, is going to be a bit less in person this year. I imagine, Mr. G, that even if we're able to get back on campus, there's no way we'll be able to hold an event with the number of parents that we need to support an in-person book fair. So we're planning, this is Julia, my first grader. Hi. All right, you need to take some space, please. Excuse me. So what we're planning for is another virtual event. I've lost my co-chairs for various reasons. They left the school and one person graduated. So we're looking to build back up a strong committee this year and hit the ground running for an in-person book fair next year. This is a fundraiser, though traditionally it doesn't raise a tremendous amount of revenue. It's usually been a very strong community building event, and the revenue is a nice piece of it. So what it looks like this year is, like I said, virtual. We're going to work likely with the same vendor that we used last year, which is a small local business out of Washington, D.C. Excuse me one moment, please. I'll be right back. Okay, thank you for the pause. So like I was saying, we're going to work with likely with the same small local vendor out of Washington, D.C. We chose this vendor because they offer French language books. And now that we're a majority language immersion school, we think that's a really good fit for us. There were some things we learned last year by having the virtual event, one of which is trying to improve the user experience of trying to go through the virtual book fair, the bookshop, and get things that are most appropriate for our students that our students will be interested in. We also offer English books too. So what we're looking for with the committee, because we are looking for volunteers, is to help work with the vendor, to help create book lists and to make sure that the user experience is a little bit more intuitive this year than it was last year, and that the books that are selected and are on the various book lists are appropriate for our students, and to help with the promotion of the event. And then hopefully next year when we're back in person, we'll need a lot of volunteers to help man and support the in-person experience. But this year, just a smaller committee to help with those things would be really helpful. And that's book fair, and it's in March. Thank you. Hi.
Thank you so much, Catherine. That's really exciting. Last year, we got some really great French books, so I'm so happy this is happening again this year, and I hope we get a lot of volunteers to help you in making this happen again this year. Another volunteer opportunity, we're going to talk about Walkathon now. Christine, if you're here, could you please unmute yourself?
Hi, well, this year, Walkathon, I'm changing it up. Building on the Friday night bike riding that everyone's been having fun doing, we're going to do a roll-a-thon this year. It will be on a Saturday. It will be either April 17th or 24th. I'm leaning towards the 17th. Excuse me, and it'll be a Saturday. And she said that they're sending out a thing today to ask for volunteers. So if you want to help out with that, that would be great. We could use a lot of help with on the day of, and then also beforehand, trying to get companies to sponsor us and deal with pledges from companies. And also just getting out and reaching out to the companies to donate money. And so if you have any interest in that, I'd love to help. Also, if we could find somebody that is good at making flyers, that is not my forte. And so if anyone is helpful with flyers, I'd appreciate them on the team as well. But yeah, it'll be April 17th or 24th, probably the 17th. Oh, and there will be a logo contest for the kids that'll go out before the holidays. And so if your kids like to design a new logo for it, they can participate in that. That's it.
All right, thank you. So we're running a little bit behind, so I'm going to condense the next couple agenda items all into one. So you've just heard several great volunteer opportunities, and I'm going to drop into the chat right now the form where you can sign up One moment. So this is an updated Google form, and in the description of the form, there's also a link to the Word document that was shared in tonight's meeting packet, which I can also share my screen if folks want to see it. But basically we've been working with, well, I'm just going to skip that because I don't want to waste time, but we've been working with all of the committee leads to identify the different committees that might have volunteer needs this year, and how we can reimagine these different hallmark events. And so thanks to their help, we put together a little Word document that describes the committees, and then this form. Some of the things that are on there that we're not going to go into great depth about is that staff appreciation. We still hope to have some event to appreciate our staff, especially in this year when they've been working so extra hard in the spring. That committee needs a lead. And so if somebody is interested in that, please fill out the form and identify yourself as somebody who's willing to lead. And then we also have the ongoing fundraisers. This also needs a lead. That's like the Amazon like the Amazon thing, or the Ralph's, where you just sign up for stuff and we accumulate a small amount of money that way. That just needs somebody who is willing to keep communicating about that with the committee. So I think it's a pretty light lift. But I hope everyone will take a look and find some way that they can volunteer this year. I know that the people in this room probably already are doing that. And so we'll also be sending an email out to the whole school community this evening or tomorrow morning that highlights this. So I think the other thing that you can do is encourage your friends and the other folks in your classroom to fill it out and sign up. Many of these opportunities require very, very small amounts of time for a short little period. So if you can participate or encourage other families in your kids' classes too, I think that would be really helpful. Okay, so now where are we? I guess we are handing it off to Alan for Tiger Gras. So how's that? Do you think we fully covered the three?
Yeah. I mean, basically, we just shared the, Kate just shared the Google sign up where you can sign up for whatever committees you want to help out with. And I just shared the PDF document that has the description of these committees. That PDF document is also included in the form that Kate shared. But basically, we have the ongoing fundraisers and the staff appreciation. And also we have a committee for academic support and French support, and potentially trying to staff the valet and drop-off committee in case we reopen. Those 4 committees, they do need leads. All the other committees, fortunately, they have amazing leads, but they do need more volunteers. But those 4 committees, and it's all marked in the document, they need leads. So anybody who is, up for the challenge, please come forward. And yeah, so next, so you covered that perfectly. So yeah, next, Alan was going to talk about Tiger Gras, which is another fun event. Alan, if you're still here.
Yep.
Yes.
Just real quick, for those of you all that don't know, Tiger Gras is a fundraiser that we've been throwing for 3 years now. This will be our 4th year. It is a Mardi Gras and Carnival themed fundraiser. Us being a French immersion school, Mardi Gras being a tradition that started in France many, many centuries ago, and has now spread throughout the world, both in French-speaking countries and in Latin America as well through Carnival. Tiger Gras essentially is our attempt at recreating the parade of Mardi Gras using floats that families build. Obviously this year the event will be remote, but the thing that's exciting to me about Tiger Gras, and the reason why I keep pushing this thing, is because it's a unique fundraiser that exists at no other school in Southern California. The reason why I believe that uniqueness is a benefit is because we live in a city that's very interested in entertainment, and we live in a multicultural city. And so an event like Tiger Gras has the ability to get people outside the Richland community aware of what we're doing at Richland, aware of the multicultural phenomenon that is Carnival, and them being aware that we're throwing this event gives us an opportunity to ask them for money in a way that's different from other events that we do. We haven't made a ton of money yet. However, last year we made over $1,200, and Booster got all of that. And almost half of that money came from sources outside of Richland parents. We got donations from people who were enthused about the event. We also got a lot of purchases from people on the day of the event. I need volunteers because I want to start hitting up bigger donators to give us bigger donations for Tiger Gras. So if you're interested in pitching to entertainment-minded or carnival-minded people for donations, and or helping me put together a virtual parade in February. I think tentatively the date I have is Saturday, February 13th. If you're interested in seeking donations from outside of the community or helping me organize a virtual parade, please sign up for Tiger Gras on the volunteer list that's going around. And the last thing I want to say, this year, earlier in the year, with Black Lives Matter exploding on the national consciousness, the other reason why I'm very committed to Tiger Gras is the multicultural aspect of Mardi Gras and how it's celebrated in African American countries, not African American countries, but countries where there are African people who have descended from Africa, as well as Latin American countries. So I'm really hopeful that we can continue to build this event and spread the multicultural magic that is Mardi Gras and now Tiger Gras. Thanks for the time, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Alan. You're just bringing all the party today. All right. So next up is the treasurer report. So I think Jim is going to lead us with some potential backup from Pamela.
Yes, let me try to share my screen here. All right, did that come up? All right, so based on all the great work that Jen and Marta did, bringing in funds and all the generosity of Richland parents, our cash balance as of 10/31, so this doesn't account for anything that was taken in after October 31st, is 248,000, which after reserves leaves us with 218,000. To date, we've paid 131,000 from our 2021 budget, and we have 41,000 left to spend, with an estimated funding budget for 2021-2022 being 251,000, which gives us a total of about 292,000. So if you take the current cash of 218,000 plus open pledges, which are amounts that we have not yet received but have been pledged, that we expect to come through monthly giving and all of that, you add that 51,000, and our remaining, take that 292 remaining budget, we are at about a 23,000 shortfall that we need to make up, which is really fantastic considering where we were just a month ago. So that again is really due to everyone's work and generosity. So we'll scroll down to the manager report. Just take a really quick look at the balance sheet. We have the bank accounts, 248,000 in the bank accounts as of 10/31 ties to the our cash balance. And then going down to our revenue, you have the giving campaign, which again shows about 74,000 as of 10/31. That's again not including the around 51,000 that was outstanding for still to be collected in open pledges. And that pretty much covers just sort of at a high level where we currently stand. And again, I really thank Jen and Marta and everyone for their hard work and generosity for getting us going.
Are there any questions on that before we move on? All right.
Next, we have a couple of general reminders. Mr. Gatos is still doing the parent councils, the monthly parent councils on Monday. I can share the flyer quickly. There we go. So the parent councils are a great way for parents to stay connected. You have the Zoom info right here. For anybody who's interested, they happen on Monday. They alternate between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. And then another reminder is the Light Bride Bike Club, which is also still happening on most Fridays. It's really a fun event. You know, we're all in remote. It's a fun event while, you know, staying socially distant and being safe to see each other and connect. It's a fun time for the kids and the parents alike. And it happens on most Friday. You can always see the updates on Facebook to make sure that it is happening that said Friday. And I think that's mostly it for the general reminders of, you know, neighborhood events and such.
Yeah, and then there's just the quick reminder about STAR. They're still doing,
Yes.
you know, online offerings that your kids can access through Schoology. Soha is showing you the little flyer. So if you need someone to help you with activities after the day ends, use STAR. Okay, so I think we have a couple minutes for open discussion. Plot things in the chat if you have anything. Sorry, my kids are getting a bath and the water's really loud. Oh, plug for STAR. I love it. We still haven't used it. I can't imagine getting Sophie back on Zoom, honestly, at the end of the day, but maybe when she's older. Oh, but if they added chess, we're really into chess now that we watched, what is the name of that show on Netflix? The Queen's Gambit.
Gambit, yeah.
The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, it's so good.
Hopefully the kids didn't watch it.
No, 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 no. All right. Well,
So I just have a question. Mr. G, do you have any idea of the expenses that might come with going back to school? I'm thinking that we probably have a little bit of time before that does happen. Is there a running list of expenses?
There isn't a running list like off the top of my head. I just think, you know, we're gonna need lots of hand sanitizer, extra soap in the restrooms, extra paper towels, stuff like that that we normally our custodial budget, which normally, you know, makes it through the end of the year, makes it through the year. I just see that being heavily taxed, with just the constant hand washing and the hand sanitizing and the extra steps that we're going to take. The district did provide a what is that? It's like an ionic sprayer machine thing that kills the bacteria instantaneously. That's fantastic, but they're not providing the actual spray that it uses. So it's kind of like, oh, we'll give you like the first gallon for free and then, hey, you buy the rest. So stuff like that in order to constantly sanitize the school. Those are going to be some of the hidden expenses that I can foresee. And I don't have an exact dollar amount, but I imagine it's going to be quite a bit.
So is there a way that we can try to start collecting some of that information so that we could at least try to have some anticipation of what to expect?
Sure, I can try to get some information as far as like, you know, what a gallon of hand sanitizer costs us and stuff like that. And I can have that ready for the next booster meeting to give you guys a little heads up.
So maybe the district can give us some ideas, because I think there's a protocol that they've already got lined up that they're using and testing out. So they should be able to provide some of the extra expenses that they know that our schools are going to incur. So that might be a good place to start.
They are looking, they are giving us some like PPE equipment, and it looks like there might be enough to get to open up with the school year. But for example, we haven't received any of those like no touch thermometers. We're going to need a few of those. There's certain things that I would hope the district would provide for us once we get an actual date, a reopening date. But I have a feeling it's going to be like, here, we'll give you like a care package to kind of get you going, and then you're on your own after that. I just don't know if they're going to have a continuous budget, or that we constantly giving us all this stuff for free. So it'd be great, and I would hope that's the case, but I always have to like kind of plan for the worst.
We do have a couple more questions. Mike was asking, why is next year's projected budget about 70K more than this year? I know that last year's budget, a lot of things were cut off when we went remote that were no longer applicable, which reduced the budget for the year we are in currently, like field trips or the art, and like I think there were some expenses that were going to go on the gala and other things like that. So that reduced this year's budget. And then let me see.
Yeah, so what we did for to project for next year is basically we took what we had all approved for this year. So we just rolled the same amount over, and we will vote on it in January, or we'll discuss it in January, vote in, whatever the dates are. But it's just taking the amount that we had projected we are going to spend this year and rolling it over to next year. It's just an estimate, as we put every year on the bottom of the forecast. It's just an estimate until the budget comes in. We don't know the numbers for sure, but we just want to be prepared.
Thank you, Pamela. And then Jenny's asking, is the school district going to provide protective equipment for the teacher? And also if they have, let me see, what sort of layout for classrooms? Are they going to have plexiglass? Or I don't know if we have that detailed information yet. So yeah, those are like questions more detailed about what the district's going to provide, what the classrooms will look like.
So the classrooms are going to be basically the half the size. So if we have like seating for 24 kids per se, we're looking at seating for like 12 to 14 kids. Either class desks will be removed, or they'll be like physically X'd out, like have painter's tape or some sort of label saying like do not sit, do not use. All the water fountains are going to be basically like X'd out saying do not use. Every other stall in the restroom is going to be X'd out saying do not use. It's just going to be, there's going to be separation. If we can't plexiglass like every single little thing, but there'll be plexiglass, for example, in the office, in the cafeteria, and in the main areas. And then inside the classrooms, they'll just be 6 feet apart. And there'll be less and less desks, or desks will be, like I said, crossed out or marked so that kids know not to sit on those.
Thank you,
Mr. Looking on right now, there's a big plan we're putting together. As we get closer, we're looking at the flow of traffic. We're looking at certain hallways being one way. Kids can leave a classroom a certain way, but then they're going to have to enter through the back door. We're looking at controlling like the flow of traffic. There's a lot of things that we're looking to planning, preparing in case that we get like a go ahead. But it's better to be prepared and to be ready before we actually get start date. But there's a lot of things that's going into planning and preparation right now. That once we have a solid date, I will be sharing with you what that looks like.
Yeah, and on that point, Carolina was saying that asking what we can do to prepare now rather than wait till we have the green light. And I think, as you've explained, a lot of things, are being prepared to when things are ready to reopen. And,
Can I ask a quick question, Mr. G? If we, from watching Superintendent Buettner's video, it looks like if we do reopen, the classes will be reduced to cohorts of 12. Did I get that right?
Approximately 12 or 14, yeah.
Okay, and then, so like logistically, don't we need twice as many classrooms? I mean, I'm sure you guys are thinking about this. I'm just curious what it's gonna actually look like as a practical matter for Richland.
So the two models we're looking at right now, would seem to have the most way behind, are either having like an AM and a PM session, where there's going to be about 3 hours a day, or having a a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday cohort or something, 2 days a week on campus, and then the other 3 days working from home virtually. There's lots of different ideas that have been tossed around, like New York City schools are having the teachers teach and are being in front of like live through a camera, through some sort of webcam. So those families that don't want to return to school, they're getting the lesson at home. I know that has not been well received with teachers. I think that's really difficult for them to pull off. So there's different scenarios. We also have to keep in mind that if we do like a morning and an afternoon cohort, that's when the kids switch. They have French in the morning, one group has French in the morning, one group has French in the afternoon. So how is that going to affect the switch? How's it going to affect the French instruction? We want to make sure that the kids are getting French as well. So there's a lot of factors to consider. We're hoping that since we are a pretty unique school, that maybe there'll be some leeway, or we can put in for a waiver to have a different type of schedule, perhaps, from what the district selects, so that we can maintain our dual language. We haven't fully worked out all the details yet, but again, once we get that nailed down, I'll be sharing that information with you guys.
Thank you.
And there's a whole lot of negotiation that's got to take place too between, food services, the bus drivers, the teachers, all that even if, the cases were to drop, we still, all the details would have to be worked out through all the different labor unions. So.
Thank you, Mr. G. I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any other questions. If I missed anybody, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question. I'm looking again. I think I went through all the questions that were typed. Okay, I think it's 7:07. I know a lot of you have kids probably waiting for you to be tucked and read a bedtime story and all that, and you can all have your night. Thank you everybody for attending tonight. Thank you all the committee leads for your hard work. Thank you, Marta and Jen. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Mr. G and Katie. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We look forward to getting volunteers and sign up. And make sure you check out the Spirit Gear pop-up shop and get the stuff you want to buy before the 1st of December, I think it is, so you can get it in time for the holidays. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
You say bye.
Bye.